What's up, everybody? Before you get into today's episode of Cosigns and Tangents, I just have to shout out Anchor because it is by far the easiest way to start and create your own podcast. So let me explain. One, it is free. Also, there are several tools that you can use to record and edit your podcast right from your phone and your computer. Also, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple, and many, many more. And you can make money by doing your podcast with no minimum listenership. Ain't that awesome? And you have everything at your fingertips. It is so easy. So, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started now. What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Saina Wynn, and you are tuned in to another episode of Cosigns and Tangents. I may be your friend, I may be your foe, I don't know, but all I know is that I have another wonderful guest with me, a beautiful Black queen. Her name is Torshia, and I'm just going to actually get her to just kind of introduce herself, and then we're just going to get right into just having a conversation.
Okay. Well, hey everybody. I am Torshia. I am an upcoming R&B and soul singer. I live in Nashville, Tennessee. I've been singing since I was 3 years old. Yeah, that's me.
Well, thank you so much, Torshia, for joining us today. And as I was telling you just before we started, I'll just give you, we never really had a conversation. I've seen you in school, I've seen you on Facebook, and I don't know if you know, we have a mutual person that we know. Her name is Jen, and she said, "Hey," by the way.
Hey, Jen.
So she said, "Yeah, she has a great voice, and I really like her." And just tell her I said, "Hey." So there you go.
Thank you.
Well, I just wanted to just kind of give the people just the backstory reason why I just wanted to have you on. As I was telling you before, it's just I've been kind of like, I won't say watching, but I've been watching you on Facebook and Instagram, and I just love your glow, your energy, and you do not know this, you inspired me to cut my hair off.
Okay. It's freeing. How you feel about it?
It is. It's amazing just how like cathartic it was just to take some scissors. I chopped it off and then I got it recut, but I was like, get away from me.
Yes. Yes. I did the same thing. I was in COVID. I was calling my sister. I was like, I kept saying, I was like, I'm gonna cut my hair off. I'm gonna cut my hair off.
Yeah.
And I called her. I was like, I'm doing it now. We were on FaceTime. And I went in the bathroom. I just got the scissors and I started cutting. She was like, wait. And I was like, she was like, you're cutting too much. I was like, yeah, it'll grow back. Here we are.
Exactly.
Here we are.
Yeah.
She FaceTimed my best friend in and he was like, oh, this feels like pay-per-view. Like, what is that?
I need to cash up you some money for this. Yeah. Did you have like an emotional reaction when you did it?
I didn't. It was something that I said I wanted to do for quite some time. Like growing up, I had a ridiculous amount of hair, like since I was a little girl. And so it was something I wanted to do like earlier, but every time I would get ready to do it, it's weird. I would always have like a major life event that would deter me from doing it.
Right.
And then I think when we were in quarantine and in COVID, like just really kind of having time to like sit with yourself and figure out like what it is you want, what you like, going back to the things that you said that you were going to do. And I kept it because I think I had a couple of weddings. I kept thinking about it throughout the year, but I had weddings and like I had specific looks that they wanted me to have. And so I was like, okay. I got to the end of those weddings and I just woke up and I was like, today's the day.
Yeah.
This is going today.
Yeah. I am getting rid of it. Are you going to grow it back? Are you going to keep short?
So I keep going back and forth on it. I feel like this. I either want to be short or I want to be long. But like, you know, that in between space where it starts growing back and you're just like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing here? So
yeah, because
every time I get like, just cut it off. Just cut it off again. And my best friend, she's literally like, you should stay here. Like, I know you've had long hair forever. She was like, but this is really, really becoming. So I was like, okay, maybe we may be onto something.
Yeah, it's just something, because I feel like I knew you before, but it's just it seems like when you embrace that, the shortness of it, because we as women, we tie so much to our hair. Especially Black women, like if your hair ain't done, like you go in, but like you keep your hair done. I say you don't, but like we don't embrace the same thing with short hair. You just like, no, because I like it. Like I just be walking around, just like, I don't got no hair on my shoulders, but that's fine.
But listen, I tell people I'm the captain of the bald head scallywags, and I like it.
Well, girl, I want to join the crew. I join the crew.
Come on over.
Great.
It's fun and freeing. And I also tell people I don't have the issue of, they say like the number one reason why Black girls don't work out is because of our hair. Yeah, I don't have that. I put my little hair wrap on and I go for broke.
And there you go. That's another. Okay, that's true. Because I never had that problem. I'll do it, but I didn't. But it's just something about it. Like for me, when I did it, it was just like I've been wanting to do it for years too. I just want to see what I look like with no hair, and I look just like my daddy. I was like,
listen, me too, girl. Listen, I am my daddy's daughter. Okay.
Yes, I was sitting there getting it cut and shit trimmed up. I said, "Oh my God, I look just like my daddy." Like if you could see me now, you'd be like, "Yep."
It'd be like people see me like, "Yeah, that's definitely your daddy." Yes, it is.
Yes,
it is.
And that's
I have his head shape, Lord.
Yes, girl. I was like, I didn't realize I had this little head shape.
So I'm exposing myself. Do you have a nugget on the back? You know what? Go with it.
Just go with it. It's your nugget. It's huge. Just go for it, right?
We're gonna take it. We are gonna take it.
That's all we can do, right? Well, tell me just a little bit more, like how did 2020 to me was the year of change for everybody, like because I guess we realized the finality of life, and we just like, man, F it. Oh, you could cuss if you cuss too, so
okay.
So you could just say fuck it, I'm just gonna do this. That's why I started this podcast, because I had so much fear holding me back constantly just to reach out and do anything. So can you just tell me, like, how did 2020, the pandemic, just change you?
Ooh-wee, that's a question.
I know. Take your time.
So I feel like the journey for me actually began before 2020, but it was like this nudge of things that I said that I wanted to do, like careers I was going to leave, to like just really take the leap and just, believe in me and go for broke. Like it's now or never. Like time isn't promised to anybody. And so it was like, but I was trying to do things in my own time and like compartmentalize. I need this to make sense and this to make sense for me to, to do what I needed to do. Well, 2020 came and I think I got one last back. My birthday was literally like the week. I live in Nashville, so before we even got to the pandemic, we had the tornadoes.
Oh yeah,
that tore the city up. So it was like my birthday was that week. The tornadoes hit the week after that, and then I think a week behind that we were still recovering from the tornadoes when the pandemic went and we went indoors. And so I had been, like I said, telling God, like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is da. But how I thought it was gonna pan out in my mind and the way it actually panned out was two totally different things. And so we say things that we want, but we don't know what it's going to cost us or what that pain, the growing pains that come behind it. So prior to me deciding to take the leap, I had been a hairstylist for years, and I was like, I'm tired, which is why my hair changes so much as well too. So,
hey, if you got to do it, girl.
Listen. And so I was like, I'm tired here. I know the pull for me is in another direction. I know, where I'm supposed to be, but I was like, I needed to make sense. Like none of this, just taking the leap by itself just doesn't make sense as an adult. Like, I got responsibilities. What?
It's so hard.
What? So literally, I ended up in a situation like within the pandemic, every job that I did was shut down because everything that I do, like you have to be physically present, and nobody had answers on, when things would open back up. And luckily I was responsible enough to where I had a financial advisor to where I had, stuff set up for a rainy day, but it started raining. Like I'm thinking I'm not touching that until, retirement. Like, okay, we got some things that we're building toward. And so it's like, okay, the time came. Well, I ended up having a situation where I ended up having to leave the shop that I had spent 5 years in, never had any issues, anything. Like it was terrible. But it was kind of like God just pulled the rug from under me and was like, okay, fly. Like, if you gonna trust me, trust me.
Right.
I've, everything that you've ever stressed or worried yourself about ever, like, you didn't get yourself out of any of those situations. So why are you stressing yourself, about this now? But I mean, that's easier said than done. And so in the pandemic, it gave me the time, because at first we didn't qualify for like unemployed. We didn't qualify for anything. We didn't know anything as an entrepreneur. Luckily, I'm an entrepreneur that pays taxes. Amen. So
thank God.
there was something for me. And so it gave me the time to kind of take a step back. I didn't realize just how tired I was of running in circles until I got a chance to sit down. And when I got a chance to sit down and like actually rest and listen to my body and listen to my mind and figure out, like, at the core, like, what is really driving me here. And it helped me to, reprioritize things, reprioritize family and, friends, and the things that really, really matter, learning who to give my yeses and my nos to.
Yes.
Everybody don't deserve a yes. Whereas before it's like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Just overcrowding your space with things that don't matter.
Right. You learn how to set boundaries.
Yes, girl. Listen, boundaries were a game changer. Some people didn't like it, but the joy that I got on the other side of, not being so worn down by trying to carry the weight of the world was a blessing I never thought I would get.
Right. And I didn't know what boundaries were until last year, 2020. I realized that I grew up in a family. We don't have boundaries. Like everything is everybody's, and you can stay clean, but best believe it ain't gonna be there. So, and when you set that boundary, you see their eyes just go,
"What? You said no?
No?
Yes, I said no." Very, very, very went the same thing. It's like, hey, the only thing I'm showing up here, I'm showing up as a daughter, a sister, and an auntie. Yeah. Anything outside of that, I don't owe y'all. I don't owe anybody that. I owe it to me to figure out what I want for me and to pursue that.
Right. So how did you balance that? Like, did you have that time, that feelings of guilt where you just felt like, oh, you're being selfish, but
yeah, girl. So, and that's a very, very, I would say that I'm a work in progress. I have times when I'm very, very strong and I can stand firm in it. And then there are times when my mind's like, I may say no, and then part of me is like, okay, you can do it though. You can do it. And it's like, no, Torsh, you can't do it. That's the point of you setting the boundary. Like, why would you set the boundary and then go back on what you said? Like, this is for you. So yeah, that's a very, very real space of when you are a selfless person and used to, being given and being the person who people call, whatever, but you can't pour from an empty cup. So yeah, learning to reclaim my power.
Oh, that's beautiful. So like with reclaiming your power, so you set your boundaries, like what other things did you do to kind of like protect your mental health during this time?
Yeah, girl. So in that space, I feel like, everybody had their own little journey with what they experienced within it. For me, I had to go in and relearn like what I liked here about where I am now. And so for me, it was simple things like I'm an outdoors person. Like I like the sun. If the sun's out, I want to be outside in it. I'm that girl. Okay. So like taking time to like just go outside and just sit there and breathe. Like, like old school days, like you would catch like the aunties and grandmas sitting outside on the porch just watching. Yeah. Just doing. And it's crazy how, simple that may seem, but when you are so used to just everything moving so fast paced, having the opportunity to sit down and like breathe and just, I was thinking to myself one day, I was like, thinking about like my neighborhood, the houses in my neighborhood. I was like, if somebody asked me to describe the house that is diagonal across the street from me, I couldn't do it. Cause when I'm literally so in my own zone and I'm in and out.
Tunnel vision.
Yes, tunnel vision. Like, so, and it was like, no, just taking time to be present, like here in the moment. Look at the things around you, like enjoy the space and time of what is. So doing things like that, I picked up like for exercising, like jump roping, just to get those happy endorphins released. Girl, I was coloring. I picked up coloring books.
Yes. I used to didn't like those, but I had like a digital one that I got like obsessed with during the pandemic. Like I would just be like, I don't like being on my phone, but I'm used to it. So I was just like, just relax. And I just be like, picking colors. And it really did kind of help.
It's so soothing.
It's so simple. And I think like a lot of people I hear a lot of people talking about how they embrace their inner child more. Are you finding yourself that you're doing stuff that like your
going
inner child
back to the things
like,
that I loved?
Yes.
Yes.
And like I love stickers. Like I remember like getting the stickers. Like every time I go to the Dollar Tree, I give me some stickers. And I put it all over my journal. It's like
so I have a planner. They actually came out with this like an adult planner that I bought that actually has like all these stickers, and you can decorate every month. Like in same. I promise all of the things that like literally like brought me joy. If it made me happy, I wanted to do it. Like me and my friends would schedule we would schedule a Zoom call. And we would have different things. Like one of my friends, we did like a Zoom tea party. And then
that's so cute.
It was so fun. Everyone had their hats and their teacups, and we would just do check-ins. Like, cause you know, in those spaces, like some people were in complete like isolation where they weren't like seeing anybody. And when you're used to, you know, having constant people interaction, that's a means for like depression and different things to like set in, because you're alone literally with nothing but your thoughts.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you know, cognizant of how to keep yourself knowing choosing which side you want to live on, it's an easy rabbit hole to go down. So me and my best friends would do like what would I can't remember what we call it. We would do happy hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we would do happy hour, and I think we would do a theme, and we had like a little game tied to it. So we did like a game situation with our happy hour. We were doing like the little TikTok craze dances, girl. It was a mess, but we had a really, really good time. And we would plan it to be like only be on for, okay, we're gonna be here for an hour and 30 minutes, and we look up and it's like 4 hours later.
Hey, you had to do what you had to do, because that's like the first phase of the pandemic was just crazy.
Yeah.
I started doing, girl, I had a real bad depression, but my friend, he sent me a hammock, and I put that hammock up. I was like, no wonder people like hammocks. It's relaxing. Like
you girl go to sleep in it, wrap it up like you're in a cocoon little caterpillar.
Right. I went to the park and I set it up, and I had my little Crocs on, and I was just sitting there. I was like, this is what people do. I was like, yes. I get it.
Oh, you made me think about something. That's something that we did too. So me and a few of my friends who write music, we actually we started writing virtually, like via Zoom. We would do like meetups to write on Zoom. And then once we kind of got a little leeway, we would go down to there's a lake here. We would go down to the lake like and make like a picnic spread, and we would sit out there and write songs during the day.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds so cool.
Yes.
And did you ever find yourself like, I don't want to say white things, but when I got the hammock, my friend who sent me the hammock was a white guy. And I was like, I'm black. I don't do hammocks. But then I'm like, no wonder white people love
listen. I'm gonna tell you.
Listen,
so here's the thing. I mean, you can call it is what it is. Some things are white things, and some things are known for black people to do.
It's not white things. It's just something we attribute to white activities.
You don't really go to black people's house and be like, if they got a hammock in their backyard, you like, okay.
You okay?
So different. You got tiki torches back there too. You know, we got tiki torches to keep away the mosquitoes and stuff, but ain't no hammocks and stuff back there.
Exactly. We ain't using ours to march against, you know, equal rights.
Yeah. No, so I would so how can I say this? So I went to my high school was mixed. So I've been exposed to the things that white people do for quite some time. So they actually taught me many things that I don't think that they were supposed to teach me. But
like this is supposed to be y'all's inside secret.
Yeah, listen, I'm not supposed to know this. So in that realm, like being adventurous and trying different things, not drugs or anything like that. We don't do, we don't go that far, but like adventurous things like that, like I'm always down. My friends know, like, I'm a baby adrenaline junkie, so like when I travel or go on vacation, I'm probably gonna risk my life at least once to like zip line or do something. Yeah, I'm that person. My best friend, she's like, I'll just take your pictures. I tried to get her to jump in a C note, and she was like, this is where I stopped. Right?
You said jump into where?
A C note. So it's like this, in Mexico, it's like these, underwater caves, but they're like filled with water, so you can jump in them and swim in them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did not see that part of you. Okay, so you are adrenaline junkie. I'm assuming you are pretty extroverted, right?
I know that's the crazy thing about it, though. People really, they're like, oh, da, da, da. If I'm comfortable, yes, okay. I would say I'm more ambivert, but I'm probably more introverted than ambivert, because I gotta fill out the space and figure out if I like what's happening.
Right. So you gotta get your piece like I enjoy expanding this energy, but if you're not the right person, you're not
because listen, I done been in some rooms, you be in some rooms, you be like, okay, I like you, you're okay, me and you don't even belong in the same room together. Okay, yeah,
gotcha. You can pick that out. You like
I'm gonna be quiet. My friends know if in the event that I'm quiet, something wrong.
Okay, watch out. Like, let me check Torsh's face. Be like, all right, we ain't finna.
I would check out. One of my friends, we were somewhere, she said it. She was like, hey, I see you. And I was like, I didn't do anything. She was like, that's it. I was like, okay. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm just being quiet. That's all. I don't have anything to say.
It's amazing how like your friends can like peep you out faster than you even. You like, stop.
Stop seeing me. I didn't want you to see me.
Exactly. I'm the opposite. I'll be like, see me. Tell me what I'm doing. Like, let me ask you this, like, because I know like your friends obviously play like a great part in your life. And I think I saw you put something on Facebook just about how like healing has shown you just different phases of friendships. So how was that? Like, was that because of COVID or just getting older? What lessons have you learned from just the healing process and just your relationship with friends?
So I think what you're referring to is when I said the more you heal, when you heal a lot of relationships, some relationships won't make sense anymore.
Right. Yes.
And yeah, so I would say that is really just kind of the evolution of me as a person. And they talk about like you reach a certain age and you get over this hump, and it's like you reach this space of where like you don't care anymore. And so, like I said, in learning me and learning to be intentional, with me and taking back my power and figuring out like what I like, what I don't like, what makes me comfortable, what doesn't make me, uncomfortable, etc. There may be times, where you're trying to hold on to like friendships or relationships or spaces for the tenure, and it square peg round hole, like it doesn't fit. Like y'all have literally, and it's not, like neither party has done anything but grow, but where you are now just doesn't make sense. And it's not to say that you may never grow back together, but here and now I just think it's like I said, like a growing pain. But I feel like that could be a two-sided thing. So you have those friendships, and then you have those friendships that you may have been, I would call it a parasitic friendship. So you were the, crutch to lean on, or the person that they called, and et cetera, et cetera. But when it's your turn and, you need something, they can't show up. Or they can't, be and do. And that may have just been the tenure of the relationship. And at some point, you just got to look at your surroundings. I don't know. I reached a space in my life to where it was like, I don't want anybody around me. If I got a question, if I got to wonder, any of those, it's a no for me. I'm not putting myself in uncomfortable situations on the altar of like tenure or whatever. Like if it's weird, I'm the type of person, like I'm not afraid of tough conversations, because tough conversations are a part of any healthy anything, any relationship, whether it be platonic or romantic. There comes a time where you're gonna, I may do something and I'm the person like, hey, I'm never big enough for you to be like, hey, what you did, made me feel X, Y, and Z. And I'm the type of person, like, it doesn't matter if I feel like I was right or wrong. If I offended you and you matter, I can apologize just off of the strength that, A, you matter, and I'm not looking to win. Like, it's not a win or lose type of thing. Like, there's a balance within. I can mean what I say and still love you at the same time.
Yeah.
And so in learning that about me, like, I'm not afraid of tough conversations. So I feel like if I come to you like, hey, the floor is open, my door is open, like, if anything has happened that's weird, whatever, like, you can let me know. But if you go to someone else, well, you didn't want to resolve the issue. I think you were looking for someone, to side with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's different.
Right.
And I don't have a, space or place to carry anything like that. So learning again to set those proper boundaries. So anything that made me feel a type of way, if that gut feeling, that poking in your side, is like you forcing yourself to be here.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you were in working in a job you don't like. Mm-hmm. You're basically trying to round peg square hole your whole life.
And it's kinda, like the very core of me, I know I shouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. And so listening to that voice that I know that I shouldn't be here, I just stopped going.
Oh, that goes back to your surroundings, and you like, ain't something in the milk ain't
something not something. Something not something. The math not math.
The math ain't math. I love our new phrases. I like the math ain't math.
You know exactly what it means when they say it.
As soon as you say, you like, I didn't need no explanation. I was like, man, I wish I came up with that. The math,
right. It's like, dang, why didn't I think of that? No, that's real. Yeah, that's
amazing. That's amazing. I'm loving your growth and just how you're just coming through a lot of the because, like, we all go through this, like, as we're getting older, like, our needs change as people and as women, and you're learning that, and you're being okay to, you feel okay to make those actual changes in your life. That's dope. Okay, so tell me, just like, can we go back just a little, talk about how, like, with your family dynamics, how healing has changed your family dynamics? Have you been able to have, like, those harder, like, conversations? Because I know with me, I grew up, my parents were born in the 40s. So self-care and coping mechanisms and boundaries were non-existent. Do you find yourself, like, going back and, like, talking to your family about, like, trying to, like, let's set this boundary?
Yeah, listen. So the family dynamics, that I would say that was number one for me on my healing journey. Actually, that was like the rolling avalanche that set everything else into motion. I had to go and, like, ask questions because I needed understanding. Like, we grew up in two totally different, generations or upbringings, and a lot of our parents grew up in spaces to where they were just working with, what they were given and what they were taught. And when you say, like, learning to, like, set boundaries, I'm the type of person, like, I need to understand. I know everybody like, oh, you won't always get understanding, but for me, the piece to move forward is I need to understand. So going and having, like, tough conversations, with my parents and asking, like, hey, what happened here? Or, what was this like for you as a kid? I love so my dad, I can say this, like, we had a strained relationship growing up. And so I started therapy at 22, my senior year of college. And it really kind of helped me unpack the layers. I tell people all the time, you don't realize how much you're carrying until you try to unpack.
Man, what? And then somebody, like, tells you, he's like, what? No, it was fine. And you like,
it was fine. And you were like, oh my God, here I am. I remember my first day of therapy like it was yesterday. The lady sat there and she just sat with her notebook, pen and pad. And, the first day they're just getting your basic information. Like, okay, the family tree, this is who's here, blah, 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 blah. So she's just asking things and I'm talking. And she stopped and she was like, well, wait, I'm going to need another sheet of paper.
Okay.
And I was like, I can laugh about it now because in my mind, I'm just like, here I am hauling all of this around every day, thinking this is normal. And you need another sheet of paper on day one.
Man, and there's so many things that you, because when I went to therapy too, it was like so many things that were normal was just actually like trauma responses. I'm like,
listen, the trauma runs so deep within the community. And we talk about, the Black community. We laugh at our pain. This is how we found our way through. But it's like universal things that all Black mamas did.
I know, like,
that all Black mamas
go to the same school.
Listen, it don't matter where you grew up. It's innately ingrained in all Black mamas.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
You're like, who did you get this from?
Yeah. So with your family, with your dad, so I'm assuming as you got older, were you able to have those conversations and kind of out the root of those issues?
Yeah, I love him. That's my dog now. Like, that's my guy. And good. So yeah, but it was a journey, like to finding my way through, because like I said, I needed to understand and having those conversations, and like in older generations, like they don't discuss things.
They don't talk about nothing.
But it's killing everybody.
Right. It's like heart disease, diabetes,
it's killing everybody. It's killing everybody. And I need it. And I can say this, like the same thing, like with my mom. My mom passed in 2015 of colon cancer. And it was literally like when she passed, my mom was the baby girl of the top 9. It took everybody by surprise. It was like 4 days. She went into the hospital complaining of stomach pain, and she was gone in 4 days. So everybody was like, what just happened? Like, what just happened? But she had undiagnosed colon cancer. Well, when we finally got everybody together and started talking, one of my uncles had a situation with polyps. Like, it was there.
And they didn't talk about it because they didn't talk about the pain. Because
it's literally like when you have the conversation, you call it, act like, how you doing? Everybody's like, oh, I'm good. I'm fine.
Right.
No, you're not.
Right. That's why I actually start changing it. I'm like, so how are you feeling? Because I feel like, because it cuts people off guard. Because we all like, how you doing? You're like, I'm good, but like, how are you feeling? And they're like, what?
That forced you to think a little bit.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, you ain't feeling good. And then I feel like that also leads to like just the inequities in Black women and the healthcare and. Woo, girl, we could talk about that.
Girl, that's a whole another rabbit hole. Cause she had, girl. Yes.
Just,
don't make me go there.
My mama walked around with having a heart attack for a week. Didn't even know it, and she finally, until she went to the doctor, it's like, yeah, you're having a heart attack. She's like, what? Because it presents differently in the Black female body, because we hold up the world, so we don't know when we're in pain.
Yep. Your pain tolerance is ridiculously high, and that's a narrative that I hope we tear to shreds. The strong Black woman, baby, we are tired and we deserve better.
Yes, because like I play on TikTok a lot, and my favorite thing is just like watching people deconstruct their narratives or their childhood narratives. And there's one woman, she's like, I'm tired. I'm not a strong Black woman. I'm tired. Take these groceries.
Dude, listen.
Everything, please.
I am her and she is me. The day, listen, when God sent my man in here so you could pump this gas, you could take out this trash. I am, I'm going to step back in my lane and, do what I'm supposed to do over here, because I am self-sufficient, because that is the space that I am in life. Yes. However, when this co-union, this union comes together, I am,
Hey,
I can't wait. You take the front, I take the back. I got you.
Right. I was like, I'm down for this partnership.
Listen,
like,
that's it.
Do
okay, sign me up.
Right. I'm tired of almost breaking all my fingers bringing the groceries in.
Listen, because we were trying to do it in one trip. Because we don't want to make multiple.
Girl, if I had to do multiple trips, they might stay in there.
Listen, and one, I know that I'm gonna have to make 2 for the case of water, but still.
Right. And Slick, the case of water in the wintertime stayed in the car.
She in the truck.
Stay in the car. I'm like,
oh yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, girl, let's segue, because I'm like, we got the because those are the things I love having conversations about with women or just anybody, just like deconstructing our family narratives and like talking about therapy. I want it to be normalized because like we are hurting as a people. Like our men are hurting, women are hurting. And so that's why I like to talk about this. So tell me about how you found your way, because you said you've been singing since you were 3, but you were a hairstylist for 5 years, or no, you were at the shop for 5 years.
Yeah, it's about 7.
Okay. So how did you decide, like, so are you now a full-time musician, or what are you doing now? Okay. So like, was that part of your 2020 like renaissance, like just going into a full-time musician as a full-time musician?
That's what I had been saying. Like in prior to 2020, I was kind of coming to the end of the road with, I mean, before 2020. In 2019, I had given myself 2 years to be out. In 2019, I gave myself 2 years to be out of the hair game. And 2020 came, and yeah, it was like I had to eat my words. And it's like, are you ready? No, yes, no, okay.
God said, oh, that's cute. 2 years, bam.
Here we go. I know what you said, but this is what's happening.
I know that's what you thought you wanted, but I'm gonna make it. We're gonna make it happen. So the world needs your voice. So
we'll take it.
That's awesome. So like, you're a singer-songwriter, and so like, what is the process? Because I've never really talked to a singer-songwriter. So what's the process of like writing a song? Like how do you break that
down? That's a good question. So the best way I can explain it is I think it was Chrisette Michelle. She said if I feel it, I'll sing it. And in understanding what she means by that is most artists are their music in some way, shape, form, or capacity. And so it's a process of, you have to figure out how vulnerable you want to be with your audience. So sometimes you just may want to say everything. Some people like to color in, they give you like different situations, like hypothetical situations that or perfect example, like India, I rewrote a song about a man, but she compared him to, she was like, if he were a color, he'd be a deep dark forest green. If he were a car, he'd be a long strip limousine with room for all humanity inside. But so the process to writing it, it's an internal journey actually, because you have to figure out what you want to share with the world. Like, what do you have to say right now?
Right.
And sometimes you don't have anything to say. And then there are times you have tons of things to say. So for me, I journal. I journal pretty much every day, like between the notes in my phone, and I have a million gazillion notebooks. Like if I go to the store, 9 times out of 10, I will leave out with a new notebook. That's how much I am writing. And just to see like where my mental space is. And so when I'm ready to create or write songs, I go back through my journals to see where my head has been and see what I feel most connected to, and what do I feel as though I need to say to the world right now. And so I have a writing partner who I write with, and we actually kind of have developed somewhat of a system when we write. So we'll, may find a beat that we like or whatever, or we'll talk. What do we call it? It's not singer's tongues. That's how we sing that. It's like word vomit is what we call it.
Oh, okay, yeah, just kind of word association kind of.
Yep. And so it's basically like where we'll record the room and just talk, just have a conversation, like you and I are just having a conversation, and just see what comes out.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
And then you write down different things, different lines, and then build the song from there. So most of the music that I've created or written literally comes from, actually all of the music that I've written or created comes from genuine spaces of conversations of events that either I have lived through or that my friends have lived through. And yeah.
Okay. So as like a singer songwriter, and you said you were in Nashville, so so are you songwriting for other people or just working on your own stuff right now?
So I've done both. So I write for other people as well. And then right now I'm working on my own stuff
Okay.
As well. But yeah, I've written for other artists as well.
I'm so excited, girl. I'll be like, I know her when she was young. And when you get in your Grammy, I was like, I interviewed her
Thank
on
you,
my podcast. I like, you won't remember it. You be like, I'm famous.
I am, because it's the first one.
Oh, yeah.
You did it first.
Never mind then. You might remember it. Like, girl, I was so good at that podcast.
You took my podcast virginity.
Right. You're welcome. I hope it's a very safe and
great experience.
Great experience. I aim to create a safe experience for your podcasting person.
Yes.
Good. Well, that's pretty cool. Like, I'm so excited for you. I just love to see my people I've seen in passing, or just I'd love to see anybody thrive, really. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for you. Okay, so we're gonna go into some softball stuff, just to kind of like a palate cleanser. Okay. And so I want to know, like, what does Torshia watch on Netflix right now?
Ooh, so on Netflix
or anything, because I got about too many streams.
Listen, I'm still mad at Netflix for trying to control how many people we can have attached, but we can talk about that later. But
we'll find a way.
So on Netflix, I was watching Love is Blind season 2. Girl. I watched Tinder Swindler. Oh, Lord Jesus is fire. Tinder Swindler. What have I watched? Tinder Swindler. Which Tinder Swindler segue over into Inventing Anna.
I'm about to start that. I watched it was the other one that was like, the vegan one. I've been watching vegan one.
I know, but it's like that. It's it's like death, die, vegan. Like something about a vegan. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Bad vegan.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is, but it's not about a bad vegan at all.
Right.
What else? What's the last thing I watched? That I'm kind of obsessed with 50 Cent and his team of writers right now as well. Like, all of his shows have been really, really great, from Power Book 2, BMF, Raising Canaan. What am I watching? I feel like I'm missing one big one and I can't remember what it is. Listen, you about to make me turn on my Netflix and see what makes me continue.
Well, I know the one thing we have in common is Love is Blind. Have you finished that season yet? Mm-hmm. Girl, can we talk about it?
Yeah, girl.
Okay, so I want to start off with the happy things first. How did you feel about Ayana and Jared?
I knew. I kept saying, I was like, please don't piss me off, Jared. Please don't piss me off. Like, please don't piss me off.
I know.
So
I was like, you break this Black woman's heart on national
and she's so cute and precious. I love her. Like,
put her in my pocket.
You know, just run away. She's so precious. Right. I was a little irritated with him in the beginning, and I felt her on a I'm not second best. You're not, and don't deserve to be on any day.
Exactly.
Like, sorry, you could do whatever. Like when him and
Mallory,
Mal. When him and Mal had that conversation,
about the ring after they all girl,
and I was like, okay, you're doing too much. Not too much. Don't put too much dip on your chip, sir. Not too much.
Dip on the chip. I love it.
Not too much.
I was like, but I love that he took responsibility for it at the reunion. Because everybody was like, that was just inappropriate. That was so. Ooh. Yeah, but I was very happy to see like a Black couple like make it. I was like, thank you.
I was excited for them. I was very, very. I think they're cute too.
I think they're really cute too. Because I really think he definitely didn't see her as second place, because considering for how he thinks now, he's very analytical. He's like, no, like I choose you because like I wanted this, but I
Mm-hmm.
now realize that this is what I really, really wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in there for the whole time. I was kind of surprised. I was
Listen, he
like,
had to make it make sense. But when we saw his parents too, like he
yeah,
made a lot more sense. So I was
right,
like, okay.
right. I was like, okay, okay. All right, so we can talk about that. We talk about the happy couple. So who I want to talk about Shake
I knew
and
you was gonna say
I
that.
well,
Ooh,
I like
poor D.
I was weird about Natalie and Shane. I kind of
Girl,
wanted them to work, but he looked like he was just on something else.
drugs,
Drug. He was on
cocaine,
drugs. We talking about he was
cocaine.
on drugs. He was on that Coca-Cola
You
something.
know,
Uh,
it was something. It was in
it
the
was something.
eyes.
It
It
was
was in the
something.
eyes.
But I really want to go with the Shake and the Pradeep. No, not
Mm-hmm.
Pradeep. Excuse me, Deepti. Deepti.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was like, Shake. First
Listen,
of all, why are you asking for somebody to have a body that you don't even have?
you not. First of all, you asked, and she's already told you. Like she,
Mm-hmm.
it was two sides to it too. I think that she handled things very, very well, but she
Yeah.
also said she was like, I don't date brown men, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that he had a type as well,
Yeah, they both
and
didn't date brown people.
yeah, which is weird because they're whatever. But his mom, when his mom sat up there and told him that she deserves better, oh yeah,
Yeah.
do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Next caller, please.
Exactly.
Um,
I was like, thanks, mom. Like,
yeah, like she kept it all the way real with that young man. Like, no, she
mm-hmm.
deserves better than what you are offering here. But I also think it kind of made me think like, uh, as a woman, like, are we this delusional at times? Because you could read his body language in certain instances to know, like when they were kissing, like
In
she
the
was
pool.
really into it and he looked uncomfortable.
Yeah, like it made me wonder that too, because I'm thinking she must have been maybe love happy because like the one part I hated about his thing, he would tell everybody
Man,
he
that
didn't
he
like
wasn't
her,
attracted to her.
but
And then get to her and be like, I've never had anybody, love me this much, da 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 da, she's my biggest cheerleader. But then telling them, I feel like I'm with my auntie.
I was like, well, if you don't want to be with your auntie, then leave her alone. Why
Listen, because I don't want to be with my auntie.
right? I want to be my uncles, aunties, nobody. I want
Nobody.
somebody,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was so triggering. Like I was so
Yeah.
triggered by that because, like, as a plus size woman, I was just like, ooh.
Listen, don't drag me. You know what it takes to get out. I'm on a weight loss journey right now, girl. Listen, and I'm
Right.
fighting for my life every
Fighting for her life.
every day. I'm fighting for my life.
Girl, yes.
And
Like,
the mental things that it does to you, like to
yes.
get to, no,
Because
he
it
didn't
takes
deserve that.
right. Because that's one thing. Like back to the therapy real quick. When I went to a weight loss therapist,
Mm-hmm.
and that man read me for fifth.
Mm-hmm. Listen, they be your therapist for real.
Not therapist, but in a
Like,
good way. He was like, it's not your fault. It's like you have a lot of stuff. You have trauma. You
mm-hmm.
have this, and food has been
A comforter.
And I was like, oh,
Listen,
okay.
don't say that to me. And but the thing is, when you're aware of it, you can move through it. That's why I learned I'm an emotional eater.
Me.
So when I'm feeling emotional,
Mm-hmm.
I have to try to redirect it.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'm working on just movement and accepting and loving myself regardless of what size I am. Because if I lose weight, if I don't like myself, it's gonna be pointless.
Listen, and it don't matter because the thing is, a lot of people lose weight, but their mind is still in the bigger body.
Yep.
So,
and it's in that dislike of the bigger body. That's the biggest difference. I'm like, no, if you don't like yourself big, you won't like yourself little, middle,
it ain't gonna matter. That's an inside job.
Yeah. So that's why I like Shake's reaction to her, and she wasn't even fat though.
No, like, she was not at all.
She had hips and thighs, and she had a flat belly. I was like, are you dumb?
If body parts were detachable, okay, we could swap some out, sis. We could listen. I'll take the flat stomach.
Right, I showed it like flat stomach and toned thighs, but I was like, okay, I just need to start like walking.
Listen, just start at the basics. That's it. Start at the basics.
Right.
Do what you can do until you can do more.
Whew, that was so triggering. Because I haven't finished Inventing Anna. I watched The Tender Swindler, but I just find it so funny because like not to point fingers at the race situation, but you never see any black women falling for this shit.
Well, no. So, when they were going through the reels of like the women who had been swindled, it was a couple of us in there, and I was a little confused because
Because
I
I'm
was
like, we
I
don't
need to
trust
hear their
nobody.
stories because sis, make it make sense to me, because as soon as that man would have called me and said, "My enemies are after me," and me, I'd have been like, well, what you gonna do?
Right. I'm like,
Because $250,000,
right.
$250 in a month.
Like, I can't even do $250.
First of all, it took me a month. I'm still trying to figure out if I actually like you.
Right. I'm still debating. Like,
Now,
because I've been dating this guy for a month, and I'm like, I think I like him.
well, we in the preliminary phases. Like,
right.
Okay, with this, I like where this is going.
Exactly.
If he called and asked me for 250, if my husband asked me for $250,000, I still got some questions.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I'm working on healing, but trusting off the cuff and blindly, I don't know if that's gonna be part of my journey.
I don't think that's what the Lord has in His will for me, and as for me and my house, we got questions, but I guess she was saying she saw all him with all this money, and it was just crazy that I just was wondering, like, he didn't have an exit strategy. Like, you touched all of this money with no exit strategy. It had to be millions. What they said, like 13 million?
Oh snap. I didn't get to it. Girl, I'm gonna have to finish it because
girl. Let me stop telling you. But you didn't have an exit strategy. Like, you didn't take like none of it and invest and get a rental property, or
I love that. You didn't do nothing. You didn't do no work. Like,
no, you just flying on planes, private jets to impress. I mean,
right.
huh?
I'm the type. I was like, I would at least, if I'm gonna steal it, I'm gonna wrap it up with a whole bunch of things that I need to.
I don't believe in doing no crime. However, if I'm gonna do crime, I gotta have an exit strategy. Like, okay, we just gonna do this one time.
I feel like that's the difference between men and women. We are thinkers. We are going to think this all the way through.
We got to have a plan to get out of this now. Like, now what now? We just not gonna. You just gonna keep choosing more females. I was like, is there a type? I need to, but he even swindled his friends.
Yes, I did see that part. I was like, I don't even know how to be that like mastermindy. I honestly don't have the energy. I don't got the energy to lie. I don't have the energy to keep lies going. I just be like,
I feel like I don't even like in the days of like having to borrow things from people. Like, I don't like the feeling of owing nobody nothing.
Girl, I owe my friend a couple of dollars. I'm like, did I pay you back?
Listen, let me get this to you right now. You ain't got that. Don't worry about it. I'll send it to you. They were like, oh, I forgot. It's all right. I remember.
Right. My friend, she'd be like, it doesn't matter. It matters to me. I won't be able to sleep if I know I owe you any type of money that I owe you.
And for you to owe somebody that much money,
right? That's so much money, though.
But he got off with it though, and just got off with it because he had them. They had no paper trail that tied it back to them because he got them all to put it in their own names.
Girl,
I ain't never been in love. I never knew a love like that. I never knew.
No, you didn't say.
I did not.
Yes, girl. Okay, so I will finish it. I'm gonna finish it and be like, "Girl, you right."
Listen, let me know.
I will. Okay. All right. So another fun question: are Marvel or DC? Or no, neither?
No. Sorry.
There's a choice.
I'm going to say I'm a Marveler.
That was the correct answer. Now, just joking.
Yes. I'm a Marveler.
Okay. All right. So, and then this is just random because I love just trying to figure out what people's. Do you know what your attachment style is? And then when it comes to like relationships or just really friendships, do you know? Do you know what that? Have you ever heard that phrase?
Elaborate. No, explain.
Okay, so attachment.
Enlighten.
There's apparently 3 types of attachment styles. There's
Mm-hmm.
the anxious, and the avoidant. Anxious, avoidant, and neutral. So anxious is like maybe you feel a little bit more anxious towards your partner, and so like you kind of like a little bit more anxiety when it comes to like communication. Or avoidant is when you're a little bit aloof in your relationships. And it could be friendships, because I really equate this, because I've had more intimate conversation friendships than I have like relationships. So I was like,
Okay, so I feel like this might be weird, but I feel like it's different for friendships and relationships at some point, until like the relationship reaches like a certain point. So because you ever heard like the saying, like your best friends honestly know you better than your partner, because it's like a certain level of comfort, vulnerability that you have with your friend. Like your best friend will literally know everything about you.
yeah.
Whereas your partner, they'll learn it over time. But yeah. And so I would say in relationships, I'm probably more of, so I'm not really, I don't like to argue. I don't argue. So I'm going to say I may be more anxious.
Okay.
But in terms of like actually like arguing about it, I have to sit and I don't even talk when I'm mad.
Oh, you're a seether.
Yeah, I have to. Well, I have to sit. I have to sit and figure out, why I'm mad. Is this something for me to be mad enough about? I mean, I do try to do the 48-hour rule. I got 48 hours to address it, or I got to move on. But the power. If you say things, you can't take them back.
Yeah.
So if I'm mad, I'm not gonna talk.
I feel like people kind of forgot the power of words, because I know that I feel like words mean things. And say a word, I am going to remember that and believe it.
Okay. And listen, it sticks and it stays with me. It stays with me. So I don't talk when I'm mad. I try to be very intentional with my words, and it may be because I'm a songwriter. I don't know.
That's true. You have to be, because your words, like I feel like, because I love music, but you know, some people like you live and breathe music. Music is like expresses your emotions. I've probably gotten to that point where I'm like, I'm just not listening to the lyrics, and I'm like, oh, that hurt my feelings. I feel it, and so I really like, because like I do poetry, like I do it, so I get the difference, but still, music is different. Like it hits your soul. It's something about that music, those.
I hear the lyrics first.
Spirit. Yeah.
I hear what you're saying to me before I hear anything else, which is why I be listening to some things. I'm like, do y'all what? Do y'all know what they just said to us? Everybody's going up. Okay, no. This is safe. So in in romantic relationships, I would say that I'm more anxious, because I'm more anxious in relationships. Friendships, I'm not avoiding. I would say that I'm neutral.
Yeah, you feel just calm. You just like, I know where you stand. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because my friends, I feel like most of my friends, like they know me. Like literally, if I did it, they can tell me that. Like somebody can come and be like, she did this, she didn't do that. I know she definitely did that.
Because it's like, it's easier to know where you stand in relationships. In friendships, because I feel like with friendships, like you've been through the ringer, you know where you stand. But in relationships, I feel like, because it's in between, you know, there's like maybe a power play, or like you trying to like, but now I'm just like, I don't really got the energy to play these games.
Listen, either we is or we ain't.
Exactly.
And I said is.
Just like okay. I have 2 more questions, because we're coming close on time.
Okay.
So this one is, I stole this question off of Brown Sugar, but I rearranged it. When did you fall in love with your Blackness?
Ooh, that's a wonderful question. And I know, and I did. Okay, so This for me is a great question, actually. So growing up a brown skinned girl, we weren't a thing as kids. I have two fair skinned sisters. I'm my mom's darkest child, and I'm brown, not even like chocolate. And so the identity crisis that we go through as kids is very, very real. So walking into spaces, being invisible, or them like noticeably seeing my younger sister and my older sister, and then 15 minutes later, like, oh, you're cute, or like, you're really pretty for a brown skinned girl.
I
Like,
hate those phrases.
ugh. Yeah, like the switch in my brain, like I'm immediate. I literally, I will shut down on anything you say after that. Like
Girl, yeah, it's completely invalidating. Like,
yeah, nope.
you lost my time. Sorry.
So no, you're fine. So learning to love the skin that I'm in, I would say the journey for me began in college, actually. When it kind of became more of a thing, I would say. Well, I would say like brown skin girls became a thing after I got out of college, but really learning who I was and the power of Black people, and the history like behind the melanin and what it actually means and what it possesses and how much people are paying to get it and what they doing for what I have naturally. Like, it's kind of, not to say like a prized possession, but I love being a Black girl. I love being a brown girl. I love all Black women in totality. I think that we are the greatest thing, one of the greatest things that God ever created. We are very, very magical beings, and looking at the history, the tenure, the resilience, the brilliance of a community, I've never wanted anyone to win more in life.
I know. I love Issa Rae. I'm rooting for everyone Black.
I stand on it. Stamp it.
Right.
That is me.
10 toes, 2 knees deep. I'm like, in it. And I don't care if you light, dark, everybody. If you Black, you Black.
If you Black, you Black. And I'm rooting for you. Yep. So falling in love with my own Blackness occurred for me, I would say, in college. Because that's when the journey began. Like, you know, things that you're taught or you may be told, but actually finding your own niche and lane and the things that me personally, I was interested in, that called to me about Blackness and the history behind it. So,
yeah, cause I feel the same, because in college, that's when I learned the most, really, as I got older, because in elementary, they didn't teach us nothing. Like, even though I went to a predominantly Black school, we just, like, my family instilled a love of Blackness, but I don't remember finding my own Blackness until I got older. And so, okay, that's beautiful. Oh, I love being Black so much. It's so fun.
Listen.
Yes. Okay. I have one more question, and this is we're kind of taking it, wrapping everything in one.
Okay.
So I want to know, like, if you were to go back in time, even though this question is usually not great for Black people, but if you were to go back in time to your younger self, what would you tell her?
Ooh. If I could go back to my younger self, what would I tell her? Oh, I would tell her it gets greater later. A lot of things that you're experiencing right now may not make sense to you, but it's preparation for where you're going. It hurts like hell, but I promise it's worth it in the end. You're beautiful. You are loved. You are supported, regardless of what you may tell yourself, regardless of what you may see around you. Yeah.
That is beautiful. That's why I encourage. I've been trying to talk to my younger self a lot, and I'll be like, "Girl, you be good.
Listen, we good. It's up. Okay?
You safe. You're safe. You're loved, and you are enough.
You are enough. That right there. You are enough.
Yes, yes. Well, I think we came to a good conclusion, girl. Well, thank you so much for joining me on my podcast, Cosigns and Tangents. Oh, and please let the people know where they can find you, how we can support and just like give you as much love and support as possible, please.
Of course. So my name on Instagram is I.am.Torshia, and my name is spelled T as in Tom, Orshia. Again, it's I am Torshia, I.am.Torshia. On Instagram, you can find music on all digital outlets. If you just type in my first name, Torshia, it should pop up. There's some new things coming down the pipeline really soon. If you follow me, you'll be able to keep up with that. I'm on Facebook. You can find it by my first and last name, Torshia Suggs. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make sure to link everything below in the description with
Okay.
your bio and support and shout you out. And, Black girls rock.
Yes, they do.
Well, thank you so much again. And this has been another episode of Cosigns and Tangents with your girl, Sailor Wynn, featuring Torshia up in the his house. So make sure you tune in. And just as always, I love you and bye-bye.
Bye.